Oasis Salon and Day Spa.
Right now at 6, authorities issue an update in the search for a man wanted out of Knoll, Missouri.
And strong to severe thunderstorms continue to roll through the area, and we could see additional chances through the morning. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, a golf tournament raises money for an addiction recovery center in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Anthony Saviello.
I'm Chris Warner. So, Anthony, join us on a very busy day here in the Skywatch Weather Center. So, we had a tornado warning in Greenwood County earlier this morning, just before 5, with a confirmed tornado, and just got new information. They've got some damage reports southeast of Eureka out into Greenwood County from this tornado. It was brief. It was not on the ground very long, but it was out there. And we're still dealing with strong, potentially severe thunderstorms across the area. Now, this is Skywatch Storm Tracker. Take a look out to the west, just east of I-35. Those storms are not severe at this point. They have not been, but they're continuing to roll into an atmosphere that is prime for them to potentially intensify and become strong to severe. And that's why we do have that tornado watch that's in parts of southeastern Kansas until 9 a.m. Now, this activity, this severe thunderstorm warning, is for the northwestern portion of Coffee County. It continues until 6:15, but as you can see, it is rolling on out of there. And just outside of our immediate area, this is the same storm that generated the tornado reports into I do apologize, getting some additional information, so I'm just taking a look at some data here. It was the same storm that did generate that confirmed tornado near Eureka, and it's now got another tornado warning associated with it in Osage County, Kansas, as it continues to roll out of our area. So these storms out by I-35 are what we are going to continue to monitor across the region as they roll into the area. They could intensify, and then we're going to keep an eye on thunderstorm activity and shower activity here across northeastern Oklahoma. It's not impressive right now because we have a cap in place. That's what has been the biggest issue. And even with all of our technology, the cap is the hardest thing to determine what it will and won't do. Right now, what it is basically is across the entire area, we have basically, the best way to describe it is we're covered in gasoline. We have all the instability we need for strong to severe storms. But the majority of the region has a lid over it. So think of it as you take a match and you throw it down, it lands on the lid. Yeah, it's burning for a second and then it goes out. And that's what's been happening with some of these showers that have tried to get going, is they try, but the cap is too strong and they fizzle out. The cap is weaker out to the west. That's why those thunderstorms are going to get going, and that's why they've been going. Some of the model data is continuing to suggest that the cap will weaken across our eastern counties in the next hour or so. If it does, then that's when we could see some more robust thunderstorm development with severe storms possible across the area with all severe hazards possible. So this is heading through the morning, say after about 7 o'clock, a low to elevated tornado risk, a low to elevated hail risk, and a low wind risk. And as you can see, the threat is shifting eastward as this system rolls off to the east. So it's something we're going to keep a very close eye on as we head through the morning hours. We also have a wind advisory for southeastern Kansas and southwest Missouri through 7. Winds out of the south gusting upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour, and that's outside of thunderstorms. So thunderstorms through about noon, and then we'll begin to clear out as we head into the afternoon hours. And this cold front, while it's bringing storms, not bringing cold air. We're still looking at highs into the low 80s out there. We'll have more on your forecast. Keep an eye on these thunderstorms for you as we go through the morning. Anthony?
All right, thanks, Chris. A federal judge yesterday sentenced a Neosho, Missouri man for his role in a kidnapping conspiracy. 41-year-old James Gibson is sentenced to 30 years in federal prison without parole. Gibson pleaded guilty to his role in a 2020 attempted kidnapping that resulted in the shooting death of the victim. One of Gibson's 5 co-defendants, Lawrence Vaughn of Neosho, was sentenced last year to 25 years in prison. The other 4 have all pleaded guilty and are awaiting sentencing. 2 of those, Russell Hurt of Greenwood, Missouri, and Amy Thomas of Webb City, will be sentenced later this week. Sentencing for the other 2, Freddie Tilton and Carla Ward, both of Joplin, has not yet been scheduled. You can read more about this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Knoll, Missouri Marshal's Office have arrested a man wanted for felony warrants in Newton County. Authorities say Jordan Jennings is known to be armed with a semi-automatic handgun. Yesterday, he ran from the police chasing him in the area of the Bel Air Apartments in Joplin. He was previously seen on security cameras stealing a vehicle which has since been recovered. Jennings was apprehended early this morning. Crews continue to clear up following a major train derailment in Wyandotte, Oklahoma over the weekend. Authorities say the incident happened Saturday night. About 20 cars derailed along Main Street and East 153rd Road in Wyandotte. No one was reported as injured. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's free and available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for KOAM News app. The Cherokee County Health Department helped out individuals with CanCare questions yesterday afternoon. The event took place at the Galena City Hall. The department helped individuals applying for CanCare benefits for Medicaid presumptive eligibility. Cherokee County My Family program was also on hand to answer any questions about resources for families.
Well, the presumptive eligibility basically is an application for CanCare. So what I'm doing for them is giving them free application assistance, because the application is actually about 58 pages long, and I'm cutting that by 3/4, so they're not having to give me as much information.
If you missed out on the event yesterday, don't worry. The Galena City Hall will host a similar event on May 20th. The Recovery Outreach Community Center in Joplin tees off its 18th annual Charity Golf Classic fundraiser yesterday. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
We've had one every year since, and it's been, well, for the last few years, since COVID, it's been our biggest fundraiser that we do.
The money raised from the charity golf tournament fundraiser goes back into the community in a form of providing support and resources to those overcoming addiction. The fundraiser funds the operations of the Recovery Outreach Community Center, which offers a safe space on Main Street, and the Ascent Recovery Homes that instills independence and work ethic in men who are in recovery.
We've got a lot of workforce, and they're good workers. Once you get them into a setting to where they're doing the right thing and going to work every day.
Can contribute to a lot of expenses that happen in our community, crime and homelessness and so on and so forth. So getting involved in supporting a cause like this helps in the efforts to curb that, to get these gentlemen off the streets, out of jails, out of courts, and into a program that can help them recenter their lives and get themselves back together.
Board members say it takes a village to tackle addiction.
It's only grown because community partners have come alongside of us. We're here at Twin Hills Golf Course today, and if it wasn't for Twin Hills Golf Course saying, yeah, we want to be a part of that, come use our facilities, feed us lunch. We got lunch sponsors, we got whole sponsors. It takes an entire community to do the things that Ascent wants to do in the community.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
To donate or learn more about the Recovery Center, go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 8 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a group of timber companies is suing Pacific Gas and Electric in connection with a devastating California wildfire. Plus, jury selection is expected to resume today in the Manhattan criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. And we'll return with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Can you bring me a water?
The heart of the Ozarks.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, a group of timber companies is suing Pacific Gas and Electric for roughly $225 million in connection with a devastating California wildfire. The 2021 Dixie Fire raged for more than 3 months after it was sparked by a utility power line. It burned nearly 1 million acres and was the second largest fire in California history. The complaint filed last week accuses PG&E of failing to properly manage forest and electrical equipment to prevent the blaze. The timber companies say they suffered massive financial losses as a result. In January, California regulations fined PG&E $45 million for its role in the fire. A former Marine who used a Molotov cocktail to firebomb firebomb a California Planned Parenthood clinic, was sentenced to 9 years in prison Monday. The Justice Department says 24-year-old Chance Brannon attacked the Costa Mesa Clinic in March 2022 in an effort to push a race war. Brannon pleaded guilty in November 2023 to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of malicious destruction of property by fire and explosives, along with 2 other charges. In addition to the 9-year sentence, Brannon must also pay $1,000 in restitution. 2 other men have pleaded guilty to charges related to the same case. They will be sentenced in May. Jury selection is expected to resume today in the Manhattan criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. Those in the courtroom yesterday say the 77-year-old Trump appeared irritated at times. He faces 34 counts of falsifying records to hide an alleged affair with an adult film star ahead of the 2016 election. Trump has pleaded not guilty and has referred to the case as election interference. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
After a full first day in his first criminal trial, soon former President Donald Trump heads back to a Manhattan courtroom.
It's a scam. It's a political witch hunt.
Trump emerged defiant after yesterday's historic proceedings, which ended without a single juror chosen. That's after 96 potential jurors out of a pool of hundreds were brought in, more than half of them excused, telling the judge they could not be fair and impartial.
Jury selection is not going to be easy in this case. Everyone in this country has an opinion of the former president.
Trump is accused of falsifying business records to hide payments former fixer Michael Cohen made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Prosecutors say Trump directed the payments to cover up an alleged past affair with Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump has denied the affair and the charges.
This is a persecution like never before.
Yesterday, prosecutors asked the judge to hold Trump in contempt for violating a gag order over recent social media posts bashing Cohen and Daniels, both likely witnesses. A hearing is scheduled for next week. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Yesterday, former President Donald Trump also bashed the presiding judge after the judge denied his request to attend a U.S. Supreme Court hearing next week regarding his claims of immunity over the January 6th insurrection. Under New York law, Trump is required to attend every day of the criminal trial, which is expected to last up to 8 weeks. That's a look at some of today's national top headlines. Here's Chris with a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing to track strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. The Skywatch Storm Tracker, we're watching these storms out to the east of 35 and just immediately west of our area continue to intensify. They're not severe at this point, but they're going to be entering an atmosphere where they could go severe. And we'll be keeping a close eye on this activity as it continues to lift off to the north and east. We're also watching the potential for additional development into our eastern counties if the cap that's in place can weaken enough to support more severe thunderstorms out there. Our camera 7th and range light, it is cloudy in Joplin, but it is mild. We also have wind advisories for southeast Kansas and most of southwest Missouri, and these run until 7 o'clock this evening. As for south winds outside of thunderstorms, that could be gusting upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. So we're looking at that potential for storms through the morning, and then we'll start to clear out this afternoon. And this cold front, while it's bringing a severe threat, not bringing cool weather. Highs today still upper 70s and low 80s. We'll have another look at your forecast. Keep you updated on the severe weather when the KOAM Morning News returns.
This spring, don't pay for your AC.
Free concert in the park, April 16th.
A wild true story from World War II gets the Guy Ritchie treatment in a new movie opening this weekend. David Daniel has a look.
If I'm to do this, I'll need my own team. You won't like them. They're all bad. They'll need to be.
Henry Cavill recruits an unorthodox team to battle the Nazis in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That is my wife!
It's very good.
Its stars say when director Guy Ritchie recruits you...
Say no more. Yeah, so it's absolute privilege to have done this film.
He really enjoys people that enjoy playing around and going into the set and, you know, seeing the endless possibilities that you can kind of achieve in one scene.
His energy, his pace, his sense of fun, all of it ends up on the screen. they all became a sort of tight-knit community on this one quite swiftly. And that makes my life very easy.
That doesn't mean Richie made their lives easy.
I mean, your character's accent changed on day one, and you were given a massive monologue about cooking.
Which, by the way, I left school at 15, and so to get a monologue like this and not know exactly what all the words were being said by me.
You look to your left and right, you're in very, very good company, and we all want to be there, and we're happy to be doing it. So it's really fun.
There wasn't a single ego on set. Yeah. Behind the camera, in front of the camera.
You and your operation are reckless. Abort this mission now.
Hello, can't hear you. Please do off.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Movie of the year right there. All right, now here's Chris with a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing to track thunderstorms across the area. No warnings active in our area for the first time in a while this morning. So I'll have that tornado watch through 9 a.m. out in parts of southeastern Kansas, and we're keeping a close eye on those storms out between I-35 and the western fringes of our viewing area. Not severe at this time, but they could intensify. We'll have more on your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The finishing touch has been your
Live healthier lives.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:22 on what has started out as a busy Tuesday morning in the Skywatch Weather Center. This is the calmest we've been for a while. We have this tornado watch in parts of southeast Kansas. That runs until 9 o'clock in the morning. We're keeping a close eye on these thunderstorms in between the I-35 corridor and our far western counties. They are not severe at this point, nor have they been through the morning, but we will continue to monitor them as they continue to enter an area that is prime for them to potentially intensify and become severe. We had a tornado warning early this morning for Greenwood County that did produce a tornado near Eureka, and we've got reports of damage now near Eureka as well. So we'll continue to monitor that, and of course these thunderstorms out there, and even these little guys here, these little showers have managed to get going here recently. So what we're keeping an eye on at this point is any activity that develops across northeastern Oklahoma. We've seen some additional showers out here start to flare up, but our issue we've had is we've had a cap in place across most of the area. You can obviously no cap in place across our far western counties. That's why these thunderstorms are going. That's why they've intensified out there. But where the cap is in place is across most of the eastern part of the area. So you see all these little showers, even a couple of thunderstorms tried to get going, but they just died out. And we've discussed the cap. We've got the gas line. We've got the instability across the area, but the match that's being thrown down into it is just fizzling out. There's a lid in place, but model data continues to suggest that this cap will weaken as we go through the morning in the next hour or so, maybe a little less than that, maybe a pinch more. But within about an hour or so, if it weakens enough, anything that begins to develop out in this area will have the ability to intensify and potentially become strong to severe as we head through the morning. So say after 7:30 in the morning, we could see additional strong to severe thunderstorms on top of what we're keeping an eye on out to the west. Wind advisories continue for all of southeastern Kansas and into most of southwest Missouri through 7 this evening. This is outside of any thunderstorms we may see. We're having south winds gusting upwards of 40, potentially 50 miles an hour out there. So our severe threat, again, this is going to be as we head through the morning hours. We have a low to elevated tornado risk, that elevated area just clipping parts of southwest Missouri. Then we have a low to elevated hail risk and a low wind risk, with that elevated risk primarily into Missouri and Arkansas, so basically along into the east of the 69 corridor. This is with any additional storms that could potentially develop in the next couple of hours across the area. And again, that is if the cap manages to break. So as we go through the morning, we'll have scattered thunderstorm and shower activity out there, and then that'll start to clear out by this afternoon. And other than being breezy, we've got a pretty good day ahead of us once we get past, say, about noon, 1 o'clock. If the cap fails to weaken, fails to break, then we're not going to have as significant of an issue with the strong severe storm. So here's a better explanation as to that. So we have that warm air as to what's happening. It's like we saw in the loop on the Skywatch Storm Tracker in our eastern counties. Storms and showers try and flare up, but they hit this lid and they can't They can't expand, they can't explode, they can't take off, they have no way to tap into any energy, and they end up dying out. Out west, though, that cap has been weakened and in some cases is no longer in place at all, and that's allowing the thunderstorms to get through and intensify out to the west, and that's why we've been dealing with severe weather through the morning so far. A quick look at current temperatures. We're sitting at 70 in Joplin. Winds, look at that, already gusting upwards of 38 out of the south, and there's that energy we're talking about. 61 dew point, 73% humidity, and temperatures around the region upper 60s, a lot of low 70s, especially as you head out west and into the southwest. So that's why we've got the energy. It's just all a matter of that cap and whether or not it weakens or breaks in the next hour or so. If it does, again, scattered thunderstorms through the morning, and we'll make it to about 71 by 11. And those thunderstorm chances will be mainly along into the east of the 69 corridor. We're looking at highs once again, upper 70s, low 80s under mostly clear skies by this afternoon. So again, this cold front bringing storms, but not bringing significantly cold weather with it. As we head into the evening, mostly clear skies. The winds will ease up just a bit, still a bit breezy, but not as much as they will be through today. And our lows back into the upper 50s and low 60s. We hang on to the 80s, got a great Wednesday ahead of us and into Thursday. Then Thursday, we're watching another strong cold front that could bring some showers and storms. Some of those could be strong, potentially severe as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. But either way, this cold front is packing a bit of a punch with temperatures, and they're going to fall back maybe even below average into the weekend as we go mid-50s on Saturday. Not bad Sunday, although it'll be cloudy, and we'll start to warm up a bit next week ahead of some additional thunderstorm chances as we head into the next work week. Of course, we'll continue to monitor these thunderstorms through the morning, bringing the latest if any new warnings or watches are issued. Let's check your forecast. I'm going to send it over to Anthony with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Topping Health Watch this morning, women who experience medical issues during pregnancy, such as preterm delivery or preeclampsia, have an elevated risk of death more than 40 years later. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine looked at more than 2 million women in Sweden. Those who had one of 5 adverse outcomes ended up with a higher risk of death from conditions like cardiovascular disease, respiratory disorders, and diabetes. A new vaccine strategy may eliminate the guesswork when targeting future strains of viruses, including the flu or COVID-19. Working with mice, scientists at UC Riverside created an RNA-based strategy to target part of the virus that is common in all strains. Researchers say the vaccine is also safe for babies and the immunocompromised. And a new poll finds many Americans don't believe they're getting enough sleep. 57% of adults tell Gallup they would feel better if they got more shut-eye. Women under 50 are the group that's least likely to get enough rest. The results are a total flip from about a decade ago when 56% of U.S. adults said they did not get the sleep they needed. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
In the heart of Grove, Oklahoma, a new
and find an agent at amfam.com.
Right now at 6:30, a Carthage, Missouri restaurant yesterday showed its appreciation for the city's employees.
We've got a lull in severe thunderstorms across the area, but more are possible as we go through the morning hours. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, the Webb City Farmers Market hosted a cooking class designed to add zest to your salad.
The 4 States' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 States, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's currently 6:31. I'm Anthony Saviello.
I'm Chris Warner. It's a Tuesday, and it has been a busy Tuesday.
Absolutely.
In the Skywatch Storm Center already this morning, starting with the tornado warning in Greenwood County. Gosh, around 4:30 or so this morning. And right now, we've got a lull in activity. No warnings out there, but we still have a tornado watch for parts of southeastern Kansas that continues through 9 o'clock this morning. And take a look. We're keeping a close eye on the thunderstorms that are just outside of our immediate viewing area. And here they are. They have not been severe. They've been strong on occasion, but they're not severe. And as you can see, there's not a lot of lightning. And the lightning detector is working. As you can see just north of the banner here, lightning being picked up. Not a lot of lightning with these storms yet. but they are getting ready to enter an area that's a little more prime for them to potentially intensify. So we're keeping an eye on these guys as they continue to lift off to the northeast across the area. These showers really got going to the right around Eureka, now lifting northeast across the area. Again, nothing strong or severe, but they flared up pretty quickly because, again, the atmosphere out through this zone is prime for strong to severe thunderstorms this morning. The rest of us are under a cap, but if that should weaken or break in the next hour or so, see these little guys? This is about the third round that has developed across parts of northeastern Oklahoma, but then it fizzles out. But this is where we're watching. If the cap weakens or breaks, these little showers and these little shower activity out here in Oklahoma could potentially intensify and become strong to severe later this morning. So that's something we'll have to keep a close eye on. So again, we had the tornado warning in Greenwood County earlier this morning. Did result in a confirmed tornado, and some damage has been reported just to the southeast of Eureka. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll continue to monitor these storms. Our severe threat, this is for after about 7 a.m., we still have that low to elevated tornado risk, and we have a low to elevated hail risk and a low wind risk. But as you can see, the threat begins to shift off to the east with any additional thunderstorms that can develop. Now, I'll be honest with you, if the cap does not weaken or break, we may not see much more than a few showers. So we have to watch this closely, because if it does, the atmosphere is primed for strong to severe thunderstorms. We also have that wind advisory, Kansas, Missouri. It runs until 7 o'clock this evening. Winds out of the south gusting upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. That's outside of any thunderstorms. 70 in Joplin, 69 in Pittsburgh. Quick look at temperatures around the area. We're upper 60s, a lot of low 70s out there. So we have the instability. Again, we just have that lid in place across the area right now, stopping thunderstorms from developing. Kids getting on the bus, a few scattered storms possible, otherwise mostly cloudy, 67, winds gusting to 30, and then by this afternoon, those winds really pick up. And by this afternoon, we start to clear out. Mostly clear skies, very breezy and warm again, up into the upper 70s and low 80s. We'll have another full look at your forecast, and we'll continue to keep an eye on these thunderstorms for you through the morning hours. Anthony?
Thanks, Chris. Some good news for the Weir Public Library in Kansas. Yesterday, the library received national certification as a Family Place library. This will transform the library into an early learning center for very young children, their parents, and caregivers. The certification comes in part from a grant from the Kansas Children's Cabinet and Trust Fund, which allowed the library's director to complete the necessary training and requirements. Weir is the second library in the region to complete the certification. Carthage, Missouri restaurant yesterday showed its appreciation for the city's employees. Boomer's Barbecue and Catering worked with the Carthage Chamber of Commerce to host a lunch for employees of all City of Carthage departments. Organizers say the lunch is a thank you to everyone who helped get Carthage back up and running again following the devastating straight-line winds earlier this month.
It's for the whole city, because not just the water and electric guys were out there, the parks and recreation, they had multiple damage out there with trees down, and they worked on that. And the city street department in here, the public works, they were all just, you know, they all came together as a group, and that's what this town is. We're really proud of the fact that we can do that.
The lunch was hosted at Carthage Memorial Hall. The Webb City Farmers Market yesterday hosted a cooking classic. Today's class was called Amp Up Your Salad. Chefs Jessica Taylor and Caitlin Welch taught the class aimed at spicing up your traditional salad. They taught people how to make a crunchy mandarin orange salad, a tortilla salad, green goddess salad, and mouth-watering chicken salad.
We are having a salad called the Green Goddess salad, which is actually a viral TikTok recipe, but we're doing like a mandarin chicken and a chicken salad. So the word salad just means a bunch of ingredients put together. So it's not just going to be the greens. And the importance of having these classes is so that people can have an opportunity to learn how to make something with hands-on experience, as well as try something new that they maybe wouldn't have tried before.
The farmers market is open on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. That's a look at our top stories coming up this half hour of the KOAM Morning News. The Department of Justice could be preparing to bring an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation. And thunderstorm chances return. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Shelter, a basic necessity.
In Consumer Watch this morning, the Wall Street Journal reports that the Department of Justice could be preparing to bring an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation, parent company of Ticketmaster. The company came under increased scrutiny after a November 2022 meltdown of Ticketmaster's website during the presale of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tickets. Ticketmaster is estimated to have a market share of more than 70% of the U.S. ticketing industry. A jolt to the workforce of Tesla this week. CEO Elon Musk says his electric car company plans to cut about 10% of its global workforce, which would be around 14,000 workers. Tesla saw a roughly 10% drop in sales in the first quarter of this year. Its stock is also down more than 30%. Musk says the job cuts will help Tesla become lean and innovative. And H&R Block says a computer glitch that temporarily blocked some taxpayers from filing returns on yesterday's deadline has been fixed. The tax preparation company said there was a problem with its downloadable desktop software. H&R Block says the vast majority of its customers who use the online version of the filing tool were not impacted. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are continuing to keep an eye on showers and thunderstorms across the area. Got mostly cloudy skies, you can see from our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. Here's a look at the Skywatch storm tracker. So again, no severe alerts, active severe thunderstorm warnings at least, or tornado warnings in our area right now. Starting to see lightning pick up now with this cell just to the west of Chautauqua County. And we've got these thunderstorms up here getting ready to roll into Greenwood County. We still have that tornado watch that continues until 9 a.m. for parts of southeastern Kansas. So these are the storms that we're going to be watching closely as they continue to roll into an area that is a little more prime for strong to severe thunderstorm development. Take a look at these showers that have been flaring up across parts of southeastern Kansas and into northeastern Oklahoma as well. Over the past few hours, they've been flaring up, dying out, but again, if the cap across the area, it's in place across most of the region, does weaken through the morning hours, which is what the expectation is, at least at this point, then we'll see a little more robust shower and thunderstorm development, and we could see additional strong to severe thunderstorms as we head through the morning hours. And if we do, we again have that low to elevated tornado threat out there, low to elevated hail risk, and a low wind risk across the area. And we also have these wind advisories that continue through 7 a.m. as well. And a quick check of those temperatures: 70 in Joplin, 69 in Pittsburgh, and we're in the upper 60s and low 70s across most of the area. So we've got some instability out there to work with. It's just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break, as well as a full check of your forecast. But first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, author Salman Rushdie's new memoir about an almost death-defying attack has been called a death-defying act, and surely it was. He'll be here. He'll be in studio with his wife, poet and author Rachel Eliza Griffith, for their first joint live interview. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Hi, it's Tommy with 24.
Time for some Tuesday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to start in Joplin with Clinton Martin celebrating birthday number 9, and Clinton is a second grader at Dover Hill Elementary. Happy birthday.
And going over to Gravette, Arkansas, Alexandria Pipkin is turning 10. Message to her: happy birthday, sweet girl. We love you so much.
And in Parsons, Colby Bauer celebrating birthday number 12. Happy birthday, Colby.
And celebrating birthday 15 in St. Paul, Kansas, Ava Dent. Happy birthday, Ava.
And in Chanute, Wyatt Whitley celebrating birthday number 16 with love from all of the family. Happy birthday.
And from Erie, Kansas, Aiden Wilson's turning 17. Love from Grandma, Aiden.
And in Jasper, Briley Buchanan celebrating birthday number 19 today. Happy birthday, Briley.
And birthday number 21 goes out to Paige Podesek in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Happy birthday, Paige.
And in Spring Hill, Kansas, Blaze Heckert celebrating birthday number 31. Happy birthday, Blaze.
Celebrating birthday number 55 in Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mike Hurlbert. Happy birthday, Mike.
And the twins, Joe and John Allman, celebrating birthday number 69 in Chanute. Happy birthday to you, Joe and John.
Charlie Diskin of St. Paul, Kansas is celebrating birthday number 80. He is Ava Dent's grandfather. Happy birthday, Charlie.
Hey, what a special day for them both to be able to celebrate. In our list, we continue with Joyce Forrest in Scammon, celebrating birthday number 81. It says, happy birthday from your fellow retired postmasters. Happy birthday, Joyce.
And a birthday to Allison Lewis from Carl Junction, Missouri, the wife of our KOAM promotions manager, Vance Lewis. Happy birthday, Allison.
And you guys hear me talk about Trevor all the time. This is Trevor's mom as well.
Yeah.
I give Trevor a hard time, but Allison, just so you know, he's a really good kid. I'm sure you know that already. Well, very happy birthday to you. And we also have Annette Emerson in Chanute celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Annette.
And an anniversary, Zach and Kelsey Ammerman are celebrating their second anniversary. Happy anniversary, guys.
And in Columbus, Charlie and Ashley Epler celebrating 19 years of wedded bliss. A very happy anniversary to the Eplers.
And we have Felicia Scahan celebrating birthday today. Happy birthday, Felicia.
And Marissa Houston in Webb City celebrating a birthday today as well. It says your family loves you. Happy birthday.
And April Hagerman celebrating birthday number 52 out of Fort Scott, Kansas. Happy birthday, April.
All right. What a fantastic list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, we want to see this list like this all the time. Anthony, where do they need to send these things to?
Well, you just need to send it to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. You can submit birthdays, anniversaries, and we'll read them here live on the KOAM Morning News.
We certainly will, because we love celebrating with all you folks at home. All right. Let's dive into what we've got going on here with our thunderstorms this morning. It was a very busy start to the day. We've calmed down, at least for now, across the area. We still have this tornado watch for parts of southeastern Kansas, and this will continue through 9 o'clock this morning. We are keeping an eye on these thunderstorms that are just now starting to enter our far western counties, so Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties. They are not severe at this point, but they're entering an atmosphere that could support some growth and some intensification. So it's something we want to keep a close eye on. We also have a number of little showers starting to develop. We're seeing a few more of these than what we've seen try to get going. So we're going to keep an eye on that because, again, we have that cap in place. We have that lid across the area. If it can weaken just enough, then we could expect more thunderstorm development, and it will be in an atmosphere that is prime for additional strong to severe thunderstorms across our eastern counties if the cap can weaken enough. And if that takes place, it's going to be sometime between now and maybe 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. There's a lot of variables in place on that cap. It is the one thing that's sometimes difficult to pinpoint. If it doesn't break, we'll just get a few showers. If it does, that's when our severe threat would continue. On top of that, we have wind advisories for all of southeast Kansas, the majority of southwest Missouri until 7 o'clock tonight, and that's for wind gusts out of the south that could reach 40, 50 miles an hour. So that's outside of any thunderstorms we see. Then, as we go after 7, so again, I'm not saying storms are going to develop right at 7. It's just this is kicking in after 7 this morning. We have a low to slightly elevated tornado risk, and we have that low to elevated hail risk and a low wind risk. But as you can see, the threat is shifting off to the east as this front moves through. Now, to the front, not bringing significantly colder temperatures, but it is bringing that potential for strong to severe storms. So the future track doing its best to try and spot out where we could see those scattered showers and storms. And that's what the expectation is. They'll be scattered. So even if we see some, even if they get severe, not everybody necessarily will see thunderstorms, and not everybody necessarily would see severe thunderstorms. But as we go through the morning, say between now and I want to say about noon at the latest 1 o'clock, we'll have a few scattered storms. And once we get past that, we clear out. We're very breezy, and we're also warm again. That's what I'm saying. This cold front's not packing a lot when it comes to cold air. That cap, again, is acting as a lid out there across most of the area, and it is preventing the storms from developing. So this is what we've been getting through the morning. We get these showers and even a couple of small thunderstorms that flare up, but they can't push through this lid. And then they can't intensify, and because they can't tap into any more energy, they end up dying out. Out west, it's been, again, a slightly different story where the cap has weakened or is completely gone in some cases, and some of those storms have managed to break through. And that's been allowing them to intensify, and that's why we've had those strong, severe thunderstorms out west. And again, we had a confirmed tornado near Eureka and confirmed damage southeast of Eureka as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that, keep an eye on those storms. Cloudy skies in Joplin, 70, winds gusting out of the south already up to 38. We're looking at that dew point at 61, humidity is 73%. It's very muggy, so that's what we're saying. The energy is in place across the whole area, but most of us are under that cap that's preventing thunderstorm development. If it wasn't in place, we'd have more thunderstorms out there than what we have right now. And take a look at these temperatures. Upper 60s, most of us into the low 70s across the area. So very warm for this time of year. Very unseasonably warm for sure. So again, if the cap weakens enough, we're going to have those scattered showers and thunderstorms through the morning hours, and we'll be breezy and pushing about 71 by 11 o'clock this morning. If the cap weakens enough, again, some storms could linger through maybe 1 o'clock. Otherwise, by noon, we'll start to clear out, and we're going to be breezy and warm, upper 70s and low 80s out there. And as we head into this evening, winds die down a bit, still breezy, but not nearly as gusty as they'll be through the daytime hours. Lows back into the upper 50s and low 60s. We're going to be in the 80s tomorrow and Thursday, nice on Wednesday, and watching more thunderstorm chances Thursday with a stronger cold front. That's going to drop our temperatures as we head into the weekend. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know in just a moment. And when we make the transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to hear how several military families in Utah put together a heartfelt homecoming for those returning from service.
Brandon Lewis of 4-State Hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Knoll, Missouri Marshal's Office have arrested a man wanted for felony warrants in Newton County. Authorities say Jordan Jennings was known to be armed with a semi-automatic handgun. Yesterday, he ran from police chasing him in the area of the Bel Air Apartments in Joplin. He was previously seen on a security camera stealing a vehicle, which has since been recovered. Jennings was apprehended early this morning. A federal judge sentenced 41-year-old James Gibson to 30 years in federal prison without parole for his role in a kidnapping conspiracy. Gibson pleaded guilty to his role in a 2020 attempted kidnapping that resulted in the shooting death of the victim. Gibson is the second of 6 defendants who have been sentenced. 2 more will receive their sentences later this week. And KOAM is proud to announce the next Great American Flag Swap takes place today. If you have an old and tattered flag, bring it down to the Arvest Bank in Miami and swap it for a brand new one. Old flags will see a proper disposal. The event starts at noon. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And again, continuing to keep an eye on thunderstorms rolling into the area. No severe alerts other than this tornado watch right now for parts of southeast Kansas. That will continue through 9 o'clock this morning. These thunderstorms continuing to lift off to the northeast. We're seeing a few more scattered showers out there. And again, if the cap can weaken or break this morning across our eastern counties, we could see additional strong to severe thunderstorms across the area through the morning hours between now and noon out there. We're going to be in the 80s today, 80s through Thursday. Cold front Thursday, it's stronger, brings another round of potentially strong to severe thunderstorms and much cooler weather behind this one, down to the 40s Thursday night, below average on Saturday. We'll start to warm up next week and with more rain chances next week as well.
All right, coming up today at noon, we're making cheese straws in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Caitlin Clark was the first pick in last night's WNBA draft. Coming up on CBS Mornings, highlights from last night's historic night and details about where some of the season's standout players are headed for their rookie year.
Or you can switch on over to with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see how Paris is preparing for the Olympic Games.
And Charlene Patton joining us in the studio with another incredibly healthy recipe. But that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and, of course, bring you any additional severe alerts if they come in.
And we'll see you again today at noon.
Fun USA.